oh, think about where you started 7 months ago and like you weren't even able to run, and think about all the people who doubted what you could do, and that I was hopefully inspiring other people who thought that they couldn't do it after something that they could do.
Do you or your kids have aspirations of one day running a half or a full marathon? What would that run be like, and what would you need to stay motivated, prepared, or feel ready? In this episode, I'll be chatting with my daughter, Olivia Durbin, a first-time marathoner, my husband, Tom Durbin, a multi-time marathoner, and myself, a multi-time half marathoner. Today's podcast episode aims to provide insight and advice for parents and kids considering taking on the challenge of running a long-distance running event. Let's listen in now. Welcome to the podcast today. So today we have the three of us who have all in some way completed the Charlevoix Marathon or half marathon. And I wanted just to take some time to talk to you as somebody who maybe wants their kids to compete in marathons or half marathons or running events. And then also maybe you want to do it for yourself. So I'm going to start with Olivia because this is her first full marathon. Olivia's a freshman in college. She'll be a sophomore next year. And Olivia, what was your favorite thing about running the marathon yesterday?
I think my favorite thing was pushing myself. At certain points I felt like I could stop, and I just tried to keep motivating myself and telling myself that I didn't feel pain and that I could keep going, especially after mile 15 because I'd never run farther than that. And so I just stuck with the little group and tried to keep with them and pass people. And I think just knowing that I was doing it was probably my favorite thing.
How about for you, Tom? What was it like to watch your daughter run a marathon?
It was really amazing. I was so proud of her, like the whole way. And even when she was hurting, she was smiling, giving me thumbs up. And the last time I saw her was at 19 miles, and then picked her up at 25, and just knew she was in pain, but it was just mind over body, I think, for her. And just the will to want to do it, and then the will to complete it, and just being in, a lot of pain later on. And just telling herself, I'm not going to walk, I'm not going to walk, I'm not going to walk. And so it was really cool.
Yeah, I think I loved the journey of it. I loved watching her progress. And even though she had only run 15, which I was honestly a tiny bit worried about, I was amazed at her inner strength, and I'm going to try not to cry. It was just really cool to see her finish and do so well. Okay, Olivia, what was the hardest thing about doing the marathon?
I would say at mile 21, I think, I hit a huge wall in a matter of a second. I was running much faster than I should have been. And I was like, oh, this is good. I'm running fast. I'll just keep going. And then in a matter of a second, I felt horrible. And then I was trying to keep running fast and stay with the guys that I was with, but my body couldn't, and it was frustrating because I knew I was slowing down, and I was basically running so slow I could have been going backwards, but
you were not running that slow. I was running that slow.
But I think the hardest part was just finishing, because I'd gotten to that point and I was in a lot of pain and everything just was tight and cramped up, and I just wanted to walk, but I had set a goal to 1, finish, and 2, not walk. And so I just kept trying to do that and power through, even though it was not fun.
So for both of you, what is the one thing that maybe inspires you? Because a lot of people can run and maybe they hit a wall and they're done. There's nothing that they can pull from to draw back. So what is your secret to being able to not only train through that, but also be able to compete through that? Tom?
I think setting the goal, just once you sign up for a race, then you're committed. You have a end date, and then you build a plan, and then the plan goes awry, and then you adjust. And so I think what gets you through the training is, okay, I don't want to die on race day, or I want to hit a specific time. Or one of the things I love training, Liv's, she would run with me, she would bike with me. So some of that we could do together. That was amazing. And so then also getting through the marathon itself, or whatever distance it is, it could even be a 5K. On that day, just going, well, I've worked really hard, trust your training, and then wanting to do well.
What was the question?
What keeps you going through the training and through the marathon? Because you could have quit, and you can say you can cut it out, but there must have been something that kept you going.
I didn't really know what to expect. And so I just was like telling myself like, oh, think about like where you started 7 months ago and like you weren't even able to run. You didn't run in like for 6 months or whatever month it was, and think about all the people who like doubted in what you could do. And I told myself that the pain I was feeling was not as severe as pain I felt before. So if I could do that, I could do this. And that I was hopefully inspiring other people who thought that they couldn't do it after something that they could do. So I just kept thinking that to myself.
So A, have a really traumatic injury so that you can, you have the good reference point,
Yes.
and B, have people who tell you no.
Yes.
I think that's so true, and especially after having a double ACL tear, it's, for you in particular, that's an amazing accomplishment. So yes, we had talked to somebody we know who is a trainer her name is Heather Strong, and I kept running through my head of being grateful. Thank you for, since we're Christian, thank you God for the fact that we're able to do this, that we have bodies that can do this, that we have minds that are strong. And I tried to rely on that as much as I could, plus water stations, and anybody who would half cheer for me helped. So that was good too. Okay, so when it comes down to the competition part of the running, I heard you say that you like to pace yourself with people and pass them. What was it like starting in literally the very back of the race for your first full marathon?
Well, I was so
like the very back, there was no further back.
Yeah, because so we happened to get there so late that I was
Late.
in the back, and I was like, okay, I don't really know where to go, so I'll just stay right here. And then we started, and people were walking, and I was like, this is not where I should be. And so when I started, it made me go faster because I was passing all these people, but I was also feeling really good about myself because I was passing them all. And that kind of stopped around mile 5. I had caught up to the pacing group that I wanted to be in, and then we didn't pass too many people, but definitely the start gave me a lot of energy, and I went way too fast because I was like, oh, I'm passing so many people right now.
Tom, how about for you, the competitive edge? Now, he just did a marathon on his, basically with Olivia's help, but pretty much on his own. So I know that one doesn't count as far as the competitiveness, except for against yourself. So how about for you? What is this?
Yeah, what I
experience?
found in running multiple marathons is if you get caught up in racing with somebody, like that usually doesn't end well at some point, because you've trained a certain pace and you've trained for that, and you get outside of that. And a little bit what Olivia experienced at the end of the race is, like I said, the wheels fall off, so to speak, and you can be feeling great 1 second, and all of a sudden, like your body just revolts and says, why are you doing this to me? And so the competitiveness has to turn inward, and you have to find something. Like I said, no matter what distance it is, you have to find something in you to keep moving, to keep going, to take one more step, to run one more step. So that part I enjoy. And for me, it was like, okay, starting from nothing because of a knee injury that sidelined me for a long time. Not as long as Liv's, or as severe as Liv's, but I had to start from scratch. And so then it was also dealing with, okay, I'm not as fast as I used to be. But then the feeling good about yourself and, okay, accomplishment. And then when you get in those periods of pain and doubt and all those voices in your head that say to stop, you go back to, okay, I've done this, or I've worked really hard, or I don't want to let people down. But then it's also, no, I promised myself that I would do this, and so I'm going to keep this promise.
So good. So that brings me up to another question. Okay, if you had to describe yourself in a moment, your very worst moment during the race, and you had to describe yourself and what other people saw, what would that have been? I'll go first to give you an example. I know what I felt like I was doing was running. What I looked like I was doing was a mix between Phoebe Buffay's running and a T-Rex. So Tom, how about you?
My worst description, I think I have a statue of it. My friends got a statue made of me of a picture at I think it was like mile 22.
Oh yeah, it's a great statue.
And it looks like death warmed over, basically, like just your face is drawn in, and it's your ugliest moment of your life. Yeah.
We have a replica. It's great.
It's the best.
How about you, Liv?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like what I felt was like my inside was like coming out.
That's
Like,
lovely.
it
This
was-
is inspirational right now.
Yeah, it was like my muscles were all on the outside of my body. Everything was on the outside. And I was I'm pretty sure my left leg was just straight because my knee wouldn't bend. And so I think I was just galloping, but also not picking my feet up. I might have just been speed walking, but not very fast. I don't know, but people who were like basically walking past me at one point. And I was like, oh, it's not good.
There's something really disheartening when you see somebody who is, in your mind's eye, going very slow, almost walking, and you can't pass them. And you actually want to walk because you see them and it looks almost like they're effortless and you're not.
But if I can turn this to the positive,
Yes,
because we
yes.
want to encourage people to do this.
But this is honest too.
It's honest, but then the feeling afterwards
Oh, yeah.
is much more beautiful than the feeling in. And even when those people are passing you, what I've found is even telling them good job, even in your head, you're like, no way, I don't want you to beat me, but it's that feeling of gratitude as well, and expressing that, and yeah.
That's one thing I think that helped me with each next mile was thanking the people on the course. Because they don't have to be there. Those people don't have to be there handing out water to drippy, sweaty, nasty runners. They don't have to be there on stopping the cars. They don't have to stand there for literally hours, and they do, and that's awesome. But back to the feelings of what you feel when you're done. How did you feel when you were all done? Now, like inside, I know physically you were toast, but
Maybe an hour after.
Because right
Later
after
that
I
night.
finished, I didn't know if I was alive or not. But I think, honestly, like, I still don't really know that I did it. I don't know. It's, like, weird. Like, I'm proud of myself, but I don't really recognize that I actually did it. Like, it feels like I was, like, in a dream.
sort of surreal.
Yeah, very surreal. But I'm happy, like, very happy that I did it. And it's, like, a cool thing that I can say that I did it and did it off a month and a half of training.
Which is not recommended normally.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Unless you want to be in severe pain. But yeah, now I want to do like more. But it's part of why like I did it was because when I got hurt and had surgery, like the next day I thought, okay, what's the hardest thing that I can do that doesn't make any sense? And then I'm going to do that to push myself. And so now I have a new level of, okay, I did that when I had no reason to do it. And so now I can push myself in other areas. So I wanted to show myself how hard of something I could do, and then use that in my life in other ways.
Tom?
Yeah, when you get done, you're like, I'm never going to do that again. And then at some point later, whatever that is, could be an hour,
It's been a week, right?
could be a day, could be a couple weeks. You say, wow, I wonder how I could do that better.
Yes.
I'm willing to go through that misery again. So,
Yeah. I think that's the hard thing for me, and I don't have to tell them this, is the redo button. If you could redo it again, what would you redo? And then I think the hard thing is like, because you want to do it, even if you say that you're not ever going to do it again, there's this mirror in your mind that is telling you, you actually could tweak this a little bit and you probably could do it better next time. And so I think that's what keeps you going back, is you can improve in different ways.
yeah, and one of the things that you and I talked about is not doing 2 a year. Do a fall, do a spring, like, okay, in 6 weeks, do another one, or if it's a half or a 5K or something, you could do another one in 2 to 4 weeks, and then your body gets used to it. So we have a friend, Ron Carpenter, who's on his second time around the country,
My word.
a marathon in each state. He's almost hit 50 in every state. And sometimes he goes a long time without even running, but he just does the marathon because he knows he can. Like, your body and mind get used to it, and you can do it.
Yeah.
So,
I have an aunt who runs every weekend, and it's not just a 5K, it's usually at least a half.
yeah.
But yeah, it makes a big difference. Okay, last few questions. Yes or no answer. Are you going to do another one? Olivia.
Yeah, probably.
Tom.
It'll be a while.
So yes
Like
or
if
no?
Olivia called up
Yes
and
or no,
said,
Tom?
would you do this marathon with me? I'm like, sure.
If you had to do it, just do it and choose yourself.
Yeah, I think what I told you though is the amount of energy that it takes to train and to go through. That's a little bit of the downside just at this time of my life, career, things like that. There's other things I want to do with my energy.
Yeah. Yes.
But keep running. I'll keep running.
Okay. So if you have any advice for someone who maybe, for Olivia, is a runner who is thinking about running, maybe they're going to do a half, maybe they're going to do a full, what would be a few pieces of advice you would give them? And Tom, I'm going to ask you the same thing, but for a parent who is preparing their child to do this. So, Olivia.
I would say definitely have a good training plan. Start preparing not just running, but lifting and eating well. That definitely helped me a lot. Definitely figure out what's going to push you. Think of something that will motivate you because you'll need it. And definitely run with other people. While I was in college, I would run with my friend Jordan, and that helped. We ran fast, but that helped me a lot because there were times that I didn't want to do it, and I would just get up and do it because I had someone to push me. And also with that, don't give yourself an excuse to not do something. Get up. If you have to do it before work or something like that, get up and just do it, knock it out, and then you'll feel so much better about yourself and about it, and just have a goal to push you for it.
Big. Tom, as a parent, prepping your child, how would you do again, and would you change?
No, I would. I probably, in all honesty, try to discourage Olivia from doing the marathon, just because I know the toll that it takes. But then when I saw her determination, then we tweaked the plan. So when you said, you got to stay within your boundary, because you don't want to get hurt before you get there. Yeah. And what Olivia said about having some accountability, have some coaching. Our kids, both of them, our son's not here, but they both, I think, ran their first 5K at 5 years old,
That's
6 years old, something
They're
like that.
Young.
So we're a family that's gone to a lot of runs, and they did AAU track and school track and cross country and things. Just the confidence that they get from that is great. So start small, go to the local track meets or field days or things like that, and then just progress. If you have older kids, just encourage them. And this is probably a good time to plug Durbin coaching.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
This episode brought to you by Durbin
them.
Coaching, LLC.
Tell them what it is, Tom.
No, we've been coaching, both Dori and I, for a really long time in multiple aspects of life, but we love coaching runners. We love helping people set a goal, set a plan, encourage them, and so it's more of a passion than probably anything else. But if anybody really wants to start, whether it's a 5K all the way up to the marathon, we would absolutely love to help you with that.
Yeah.
Contact Dori.
Yeah, you can. I have all my information. Yeah, and I think running is one of those communities that it's competitive, but it's competitive in a friendly way, which sounds so opposite. Because I think people want to push themselves, but they want to push themselves in a way that considers other people too. And runners will help each other. I can't tell you how many people, we had our puppy there and who was wanting to hang with me or lives and not stay with his dad. And they were friendly and considerate, and I think they would have helped us if we needed the help. So the running community is a great community to get your kids involved in and to give them the opportunity to become an independent. They can run these races by themselves. They're pretty safe for the most part. And when our kids did start, we always tried to make it fun. Our kids were always competitive though, so we had to back them down sometimes. But just even for people who aren't competitive, who just want to accomplish goals, running is a great thing to be able to do and be able to say that you did it and feel great about doing it. So yeah, you should definitely contact me so you can contact them as well. All right, on that note, I thank both of you for not only being runners, but also for doing this and for being my family. I'm so blessed to have you and so proud. So thank you.
We're proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah, another medal to hang on the wall for Dori. But it's about setting that goal, and you've overcome so much, and because people told you you shouldn't.
All the motivation you need is somebody telling you no is the perfect motivation.
Well, thank you for asking us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being.